Chapter 6: Love in Adolescence, Emotions that Shape Us. Have you ever wondered why first love in your teenage years feels like a midnight fireworks display? Why at 15 or 17 every emotion seems amplified tenfold, as if your heart's volume knob was stuck at maximum? Adolescence is, by definition, a time of extremes and discoveries, and love at this age is like a summer storm, brief, intense, and unforgettable. Nothing compares to the thrill of that first teenage love, the sleepless nights spent holding your phone, waiting for a message, the overwhelming rush when you see your crush smile at you during lunch. But why do we feel everything so strongly? How is it that at 16 a glance, or as seen on chat, can lift us to the highest heights or drop us into the deepest sadness? Let's unravel together the mystery of these emotions that shape us. Inside every teenager's body, a true chemical revolution is underway. Puberty hormones, estrogen, testosterone, and many others flood the system, and with them moods rise and fall like a runaway carousel. You feel euphoric one moment, overwhelmed the next, sometimes for no clear reason. Science tells us that the teenage brain is still learning how to hit the brakes in heavy emotional traffic. The rational part, the prefrontal cortex, isn't fully mature, while the limbic system, the emotional center, is already racing ahead. It's like having a Ferrari engine and the brakes of an old bicycle. The speed of feelings is dizzying, but the control mechanisms are barely keeping up. That's why romantic experiences at this age can be so overpowering. A teenager in love can go from ecstasy to agony in a single day. In the morning, a smile puts you on cloud 9. In the evening, a late reply plunges you into a sea of doubt. Sound familiar? Beyond chemistry and hormones, there are deep desires for identity and independence at play. Adolescence is when you begin to ask who you really are, apart from your parents and the child you used to be. And what better way to define your identity than through love? Having someone of your own, a boyfriend or girlfriend, sometimes becomes a badge of maturity and autonomy. Through your partner's eyes, you see yourself in a new light. Their affection confirms that you're special, that you matter to someone beyond your family. Plus, the chance to make your own decisions in a relationship, where to go on a date, how far to take the story, all of this is part of stepping into the adult world. It's no surprise that teenage love sometimes comes with a streak of rebellion. Have you ever felt that no one understands you, that the world is against your relationship? Maybe your parents set a strict curfew, or teachers tell you to put love aside and focus on your studies, rules that feel unfair when all you want is to spend time with the person you love. When you're a teenager, obstacles like these can make feelings even more intense. Like in Romeo and Juliet, paradoxically, forbidden love can taste even sweeter. If someone says you can't, your heart seems to shout even louder, "Oh yes, I do, I feel, I choose." This urge to assert your love despite obstacles comes from the need for autonomy. You want to prove you have the power to steer your own life and your own feelings, and love becomes the perfect ground for that assertion. Let's also talk about the modern context, because teenage love today faces new challenges, ones your parents didn't experience. We live in the era of instant messages, social media, and hearts sent with a tap on the screen, not perfumed letters like back in the day. On the one hand, it's wonderful. You can stay connected with the person you love all the time, exchanging dozens of messages a day, funny memes, giving each other like and love on posts. It almost feels like the butterflies in your stomach have their own Instagram account, doesn't it? On the other hand, this constant connection brings new anxieties. You send a message and see it's been read, seen, but you don't get an immediate reply, so you start wondering, are they upset? Do they not want to talk to me? Did something happen? A young lover's mind can spin dramatic scenarios out of just a few minutes of online silence. Social media can also spark lightning-fast jealousy. A photo of your partner with someone smiling beside them can trigger a carousel of questions. Who is that girl? Why do they look like they're having such a great time? Why wasn't I there? In the past, if your boyfriend was late to a date, you didn't know what he was doing, and it might have been simpler to assume the bus was delayed today. If they don't answer but you see them active online, it's much easier to imagine all kinds of scenarios and feel that sting of jealousy or insecurity. Digital communication is fast, but the lack of tone and facial expression can breed misunderstandings. A curt fine in a message can be read as coldness or annoyance, when in fact the other person was simply distracted or tired. So teenage love in the modern world can become a true online roller coaster, full of climbs, couple selfies with funny filters, public declarations on your profile, and plunges, messages seen with no reply, photos that make you flinch with fear or jealousy. Perhaps the most important thing about teenage love is that although it rarely lasts into old age, it leaves deep marks on the heart and teaches us valuable lessons. The first breakup, for example, can hit like an emotional hurricane. Anyone who has had a broken heart at 16 or 17 knows how painful it can be. You feel like the world has ended, that no one will ever understand what you're going through. The tears seem endless, sad love songs become the anthem of every evening, and places that once felt special, the park bench where you held hands, the street corner where you shared your first kiss, now hurt so much you want to avoid them. It's probably the first time your heart tastes disappointment and loss in love. And yet, cliché as it may sound, time heals. After you move through that pain, something extraordinary happens. You learn something about yourself and about what love means. Maybe you learn how important communication is, after realizing how much unspoken tension hurt you both. Maybe you learn to be more attentive to the other person's needs, or, conversely, not to lose yourself entirely in them and to keep your own passions and friends. First love and its ups and downs shapes you. It's like learning to ride a bike. Inevitably you fall, you cry out of frustration, then you get up, dust yourself off and try again. And next time, you know how to steer around the obstacle that knocked you down the first time. So, teenage love is training for the soul. It challenges you, sometimes it hurts, other times it makes you feel like you can fly. But in the end it prepares you for the great loves that will follow in adult life. Every intense emotion you feel now becomes a brick in the foundation of your emotional maturity, and even if years from now you look back with an amused or nostalgic smile at the drama you went through at 17, know that at the time it was very real and important. That younger version of you felt it all, and thanks to that younger you, the person you become will love more deeply and know how to appreciate what you feel. Jennifer is curled up in bed, knees drawn to her chest, her phone lighting her face. It's past midnight, but sleep seems to refuse to come. Her gaze slips for the umpteenth time to the cold screen. No new messages from Michael. The last time they'd spoken was hours ago, when he'd said, "I'll get back to you later, okay?" before heading to a classmate's party. Later came and went, and now the phone's silence weighs on Jennifer's heart like lead. Did he forget his promise? Is he having so much fun he forgot about me? Her thoughts race out of control. The image she saw a little earlier on Instagram flashes back in her mind. A photo posted by one of their mutual friends, in which Michael was laughing with a few classmates, and next to him, a red-haired girl Jennifer doesn't really know. In the picture they looked close, much too close. Her heart starts pounding again, but this time not with joy but with fear and jealousy. Who is that girl? Why was she standing so close to him? Jennifer feels a lump in her throat, and before she realizes it, her eyes well with tears. She wipes her cheeks with the back of her hand and breathes deeply, trying to chase away the painful scenarios that have taken over her mind. In the darkness of the room, the only witness to her turmoil is the phone, which remains silent. The next morning, the sky is clear, a pure blue, as if Jennifer's restless night had never happened. On a bench in the small park near her building, Jennifer sits staring at blades of grass glistening with dew. She hardly slept at all. She woke with a heavy heart and the decision to avoid Michael until she knew what to say. But Michael isn't the kind to stand back when he feels something is wrong. This morning, he called her 3 times and texted, all with no reply, so he came straight to her door. Jennifer came down to the park and agreed to talk. Jennifer twists her hands in her lap. A gesture Michael recognizes. It's a clear sign she's upset. He remembers how, the night before, he felt his phone vibrate in his pocket while he was laughing at a joke with his classmates. When he pulled it out, he saw Jennifer's message. "What are you up to? Having fun?" He had replied quickly, "Hey, I'm okay. We'll talk as soon as I get home, I promise." But his battery was almost dead. Soon after, his phone shut off. When he got home late, he put it on the charger and fell asleep like a log without seeing any other notifications. When he woke up and saw Jennifer's messages and that she wasn't answering at all, he knew something was wrong. "Jennifer, hey, I'm sorry for showing up like this, unannounced. Michael begins, sitting down on the bench beside her but keeping a small distance. What happened? Please, talk to me. Jennifer bites her lip and keeps her eyes on the ground. She doesn't trust her voice. She's afraid that if she opens her mouth, the hurt will make her burst into tears. Nothing, I'm okay, she murmurs at last, without looking at him. Michael sighs softly. He sees the faint circles under her eyes and the way she avoids eye contact. No, she isn't okay. He runs a hand through his hair, searching for the right words. Seriously, do you really want me to believe it's nothing? Jennifer, you've barely said 2 words. That's not you. You know I know you, something's bothering you, he insists gently. For a moment, Jennifer feels the urge to keep denying it. But how could she? With Michael, she usually talked about everything. Until this morning he was her best friend too, not just her boyfriend. That thought, this sense that something has cracked between them, tightens her heart. She lifts her eyes to him. His brown eyes look at her with sincerity and concern. That familiar spark of warmth is still there. Did you have fun last night? She asks, trying to sound nonchalant, but her voice cracks a little at the end. Michael blinks, surprised by the question. Yeah. I mean, it was okay. It would have been better if you were there too. You know that. He answers softly, trying to meet her eyes. Jennifer looks away, feeling a wave of emotion wash over her again. If I'd been there. His words sound as if nothing happened, as if everything is normal. But to her, nothing has felt normal since last night. She wants to believe him, yet the image of the red-headed girl beside him haunts her mind. Michael, I saw a photo, Jennifer whispers, fidgeting nervously with her hoodie drawstring. A photo of you and a girl. You looked close. Michael understands all at once. He turns a little toward her and lifts his hands in a gentle, placating gesture. Oh, wait. You mean Emma? The red-headed girl? Jennifer, she's Eric's cousin. She just came with him last night, that's all. Seriously, there is absolutely nothing between me and her, Michael says in one breath, his voice warm and a little rushed, as if he wants to dispel the clouds of mistrust as quickly as possible. Jennifer looks him in the eye for the first time that morning. His expression, a mix of sincerity and mild panic, makes her feel both relieved and embarrassed. So that girl was just an acquaintance, nothing more. Maybe all the drama was only in her tired, worried mind. Seriously? She asks softly, like a child who's just learned the monster under the bed wasn't real. Seriously, Michael confirms, moving a little closer and trying to catch her gaze. Did you really think I would? I don't know. I mean, I know it sounds absurd now, but last night I imagined the worst, Michael. Jennifer bursts out, feeling the tears she's been holding back threaten to surface. I felt so forgotten. You were there laughing, I was home alone, and when you stopped answering. Her voice breaks. 2 warm tears roll down her cheeks. She wipes them away quickly, embarrassed. Michael feels a stab in his heart seeing her like that. In the next moment, without hesitating, he opens his arms and pulls her into a tight embrace. Jennifer rests her head on his shoulder, and the tears she has been holding back spill over into quiet, muffled sobs. Shh, I'm here. I'm sorry, Michael whispers, gently stroking her back. Look, I felt terrible too when I saw you stopped answering me. I could hardly wait for morning to come so I could come to you. I thought you were really, really mad at me. Jennifer lifts her head from the embrace, her eyes still awash with tears, but the corners of her mouth hint at a faint smile. I was upset, and sad and jealous, she admits quietly, leaning on his arm to see him better. I imagined you didn't care, that you'd rather be with others. Ugh, I know I was being paranoid. Michael shakes his head firmly. You're not paranoid. But just so you know, Jennifer, I care about you a lot. I love you, okay? He says slowly, putting real weight behind the last words. And I'm truly sorry I made you feel that way. Jennifer's heart leaps at his, I love you. Sure, they'd said it before, but now his words come like a balm over the insecurity that had tormented her all night. She wipes away her tears and sighs, this time with relief. I love you too, Michael. I'm sorry that I believed that nonsense, she says softly. Michael smiles and gently lifts her chin with his finger, coaxing her to look him in the eyes. It's not silly if it made you suffer like that, he says, but promise me something. What? Jennifer asks, blinking. Next time you start worrying or feel insecure, talk to me, please. Don't keep it to yourself. I'd rather get 10 panic texts from you than know you've been crying alone for nights on end because of me. Jennifer laughs through the last of her tears, feeling the tension melt away. Okay, I promise, she says, feeling her cheeks warm this time not from crying, but from a touch of embarrassment mixed with happiness. Michael rests his forehead against hers for a moment, looking into her eyes. And I promise I won't leave you hanging again, even if… Damn this phone and its battery. He blurts with an amused sigh. I could have at least texted you when I got home last night. Come on, you were tired, Jennifer says, excusing him. Tired or not, it doesn't matter anymore. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again. I'll call you, not just text, okay? You'll hear my voice so you know I'm in one piece and as boring as ever. Michael jokes, gently wiping a trace of a tear from her cheek. Jennifer smiles broadly now. She lets her head rest on his shoulder again, and together they watch the morning sun climb over the park trees. Even the sparrows along the path seem merrier, chirping in a cheerful clamour. The phone's silence isn't frightening today. In its place, the warm quiet between two people who have just found each other again fills the air. Jennifer feels Michael's arm wrapped tightly around her and finally allows herself to breathe a sigh of relief. They've been through their first storm, but now in the gentle morning light, they both know they've learned to understand each other better. And the emotions that shook them through the night have drawn them even closer this clear morning. In a single night, Jennifer is swept through a whirlwind of emotions, from impatience and longing to insecurity, jealousy, and deep sadness. A small gesture, a simple photo seen online, and the absence of a message become the spark that ignites a whole storm in her heart. This is exactly the mechanism described. In adolescence, emotions are amplified, and their minds, still unaccustomed to such intense experiences, can turn a small doubt into a catastrophic scenario. For Jennifer, the phone's silence was the equivalent of a loud thunderclap on a stormy night. Jealousy and the fear of losing the person she loves crashed over her, showing how vulnerable you become when you love this intensely at that age. The way Jennifer and Michael resolved the situation, in turn, reflects the lessons about communication and trust that teenage love offers us. Instead of tearing them apart, the small conflict pushed them to open their hearts and speak honestly about what they feel. Their first confrontation showed them that love isn't free of misunderstandings, but these can be overcome through open dialogue and empathy. Jennifer learned that it's better to voice her fears than to be swept away by painful scenarios, and Michael realized how important it is to be present and reassure her. In the gentle morning light after the storm, the two discover they've become even closer. Their story confirms that the intense emotions of teenage love, even when they hurt, help us grow, know ourselves, and build stronger relationships. With each challenge overcome, the soul matures, and that is, in essence, the central idea of this chapter. Teenage love shapes us and prepares us for the relationships to come, turning today's storms into the wisdom and calm of later years. Teenage love is a gift that's both wild and beautiful. It carries you to peaks of ecstasy and drops you into depths of doubt, sometimes in the same day. But it's precisely these ups and downs that shape us and make us stronger. Every teenager in love feels they're living a unique story of incredible intensity, and with good reason. Love at this age truly is unique, in its unfiltered honesty and passion. Yes, it can bring tears and sleepless nights, but all of this is part of the path of our emotional growth. What matters is remembering that every emotion you feel now has meaning. Every first argument and every reconciliation, every wild heartbeat and every tear make us stronger and wiser. Teenage love teaches us about communication, about trust, and about who we are when we give our heart to someone. And however chaotic this process may seem, it lays the groundwork for more mature, steadier relationships. So if you're in the middle of the storm of adolescent emotions, remember, every flash of lightning and every rumble of thunder now is shaping the clear sky you'll have later. Love with your whole heart, learn from every experience, and trust that at the end of every storm you'll find a rainbow of emotions that have helped you grow.